India's loss in that triple header on October 30th has kind of opened up Group 2. Some are concerned about the performance, considering that the top batters did not do well, the fielding also took a hit, the bowling lacked a bit of penetration, especially the spinners. But it is apparently still not panic stations yet for the Indian cricket team. What this loss has done though is absolutely dent Pakistan's chances, because India and Pakistan have had contrasting fortunes. For Pakistan, they needed India to win so that they could have had lesser trouble. But now with South Africa's win, Pakistan are in a must-win situation and they're on the brink. But India needs to thank Bangladesh, because had Zimbabwe won yesterday against Bangladesh, India would not be in second position, they would have been in third. And Zimbabwe's position has gotten worsened because of their loss to Bangladesh by 3 runs. So in this points table permutations and combinations, I will tell you what each of the contenders for the semi-finals needs to do, because the only team that is out at this point in time is the Netherlands. Neither in Group 1, neither in Group 2, we have had our semi-finalists, and this is the last week of the league stages. So this 2022 T20 World Cup, due to rain and due to some extremely unexpected results, it has proven to be a thriller. So this is the current points table at this point in time. South Africa are sitting pretty with 5 points, but their net run rate is plus 2.7. So on both fronts they are covered, and they will have to win only one more game to ensure that they can get into the semi-finals. But for India, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe and Pakistan, every game that they play now assumes a lot more importance. This is why. Every game for 5 sides a must win, one loss could prove to be deadly. This last statement is true for Pakistan, it's true for Zimbabwe, it can also be true for India and Bangladesh, provided certain results go their way. For South Africa, they are almost assured of 7 points for one reason. What are South Africa's fixtures in this World Cup at this point in time? The biggest one for them is November 3 at Sydney against Pakistan. If they win that, they are through. And their last league game, even if they lose this game, their last league game is against the Netherlands. No disrespect to the Netherlands, but South Africa are a team that do not choke up that often against the minnows. So you have to expect that South Africa will get to 7 points, considering Netherlands' fortunes have taken a big hit. So the equation is very simple for South Africa. Win one more game and hope. Why I am just saying that it puts them in a big boost to the semi-finals. Zimbabwe needs to win only one more game. If Zimbabwe wins only one, then South Africa is assured. Must not lose the remaining games. If they lose to Pakistan, will have to win versus Netherlands, because if they lose both games, South Africa are out. Hope Zim loses to India, Bangladesh loses to Pakistan, because one among Bangladesh and India can get to 8 points. South Africa, if they lose, they can only get to 7. And so at this point in time, it is very important that South Africa wins 2 games, Zimbabwe loses 1, and Bangladesh and India just get 1 win, or in the case of both India and Bangladesh, they get upset in their last league game. India. November 2 and November 6th is against Bangladesh and Zimbabwe. Presumably the weakest sides among the established nations in cricket. But as this World Cup has shown, you cannot take any team lightly, especially Bangladesh, who somehow got out of jail and managed to win by 3 runs against Zimbabwe. On the other hand, Zimbabwe upset the entire group by beating Pakistan by 1 run. So it is all about very fine margins. But India's position could be fatal on November 2 if rain does not spoil the Adelaide clash, because the live visuals that we have seen from Adelaide, Nikhil did a live from Adelaide and it was raining. And rain is predicted on November 2nd, 61% chances of rain in Adelaide on November 2. And unlike Melbourne, unlike Sydney, Adelaide is expected to have evening rain. And that is a major concern. If rain intervenes, final game versus Zimbabwe becomes a must win for India. If India loses to Bangladesh, even then, must win the Zimbabwe game in Melbourne. If India loses both games, they are out. But the last point, if India wins only one game, hope that South Africa beat Pakistan and Pakistan in return beats Bangladesh by a big margin, because India can still be rescued by their net run rate, which is plus 0.8. But Bangladesh's net run rate is very poor, minus 1.5. So Bangladesh have to win both their games against India and Pakistan by a big margin, but that is probably asking for too much, considering the recent record against them in T20 Ice. Pakistan. South Africa's win against India has all but eliminated Pakistan's chances. They are now only in it mathematically. Their next two games are against South Africa and against Bangladesh. Two knockout matches. As I had mentioned, Pakistan's chances have been hit after the India loss. Must win all the games. One loss and they are out, because they can only get to 4 points. One more loss and they can only get to 4 points. Those two losses that they had against India and Zimbabwe in the last over has really hurt them. If Pakistan wins all the games, for them to go through to the semi-finals, what must happen? Hope India versus Bangladesh gets rained out. Then they will only get 1 point each. Bangladesh will remain on 5. India will remain on 5. Zimbabwe wins only one game, because Zimbabwe will get to 5 points, and hopefully that is against India. But that is also asking for too much, because Zimbabwe take on the Netherlands and they also take on India. So if Zimbabwe wins against Netherlands, they get to 5 points, but asking them to win against India may be a bridge too far. So because Pakistan's last league game is against Bangladesh, so if they win all, they'll get to 6. Bangladesh will stay on 5 or 4 if they lose to India and Pakistan. So that is why it's a very complicated situation. Simple equation is one loss, they are out of the tournament. Bangladesh, somehow, some way, they have managed to stay alive, but they have also done India a big favor, because when they defeated Zimbabwe, India remained second because of their net run rate. Zimbabwe are in 4th spot. So their two games are against India in Adelaide and Pakistan also in Adelaide on November 6th. So November 6th is the last round of league games. You will know at that time who is in a better position. If Bangladesh loses both, they are out. Simple. If Bangladesh wins only one game, Pakistan must lose to South Africa and Zimbabwe must beat India. Because at this point in time, if Bangladesh win only one, either against India or Pakistan, they will only get to 6. If they lose to India, India goes to 6. Zimbabwe, if they win only one game, then and only then Bangladesh have a chance. But their net run rate is a massive problem, minus 1.5. If Bangladesh wins both, they are through to the semi-finals, because they'll get to 8 points. At best, only one team can get to 8 points. So that is why either of India, Pakistan or Bangladesh. If Bangladesh win both, they get to 8. Pakistan can only get to 6. India is the only other team to get to 8, but both play each other. Zimbabwe. How they will be ruining that 3-run loss to Bangladesh, because had they won it, they would have been on 5 points. Had they won against the Netherlands, 7 points and a chance to seal the semi-finals. But now, because of the 3-run loss, they have gone 3 steps back. Their games are against the Netherlands in Adelaide on November 2 and against India, the final league game of the T20 World Cup in Melbourne. One loss for Bangladesh, for Zimbabwe, and they're out. If they win both games, Bangladesh has to lose one game. And hopefully that happens against Pakistan, because if they win both, they can get to 7. But South Africa can also get to 7 if they win against Netherlands. And India, because they are playing against Zimbabwe in their last game, and if they win both, then Bangladesh can be the only team who can get to 8, because they'll beat both India and Pakistan. So that is why Bangladesh has to win only one more game. They'll only get to 6. Zimbabwe are assured of 7. So is South Africa. So Zimbabwe will be really ruining their missed opportunity, as well as Pakistan. Two teams, because that 3 last over finishes, Zimbabwe versus Bangladesh, lost in the final over, Pakistan versus Zimbabwe, Pakistan versus India. Those 2 losses in the final over has really put paid to their chances. India not yet in danger, but if the Adelaide game is washed out, then the last game becomes a virtual quarterfinal. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates from sports today. Press the bell icon so that you are notified when we go live. Press the like, comment and share button. We are also there on Facebook,